my parents moved here from Hong Kong, and because basically they fled China when the communists took over, and they got here to the U.S. and I was born, and it was really interesting because at home I spoke Chinese, so when I got to kindergarten, my speech was bad. I didn't understand a lot, and I felt like I was kind of behind the eight ball, and to me, that's kind of a good thing because if you think that wow, I'm way behind, I've got to catch up, it lights a little bit of a fire under your butt, and you start like, okay, I really got to figure all this out. And I think that so many people, they get maybe handed something or things aren't that tough, and so there's no real push to get ahead. So I would have to say that as crazy as it sounds, growing up with language barriers, and we grew up really poor also, it helps a person to really strive and get ahead.
That's such a good point. Yeah, I'm an avid reader, and you read about so many people like David Goggins or someone like that who grew up with this, learning disabilities and poor and things like that, and it's that that adversity that helps to shape you, right? A diamond is a lump of coal under pressure, right? So having that pressure,
Exactly.
you're back up against the wall, chip on your shoulder, the need to or the want to prove yourself, or just to really survive, like that's really powerful.
Yeah. So, growing in that environment kind of pushed me to move ahead. And that's actually one of the reasons why I went all the way. I lived in Columbus, Ohio, and why I went to UCLA. I was just like, gosh, we're so poor. I've never really gotten to see anything. It's like I'd like to go somewhere completely different, and so that's where I went to school. And I originally had the idea of being a doctor. It's kind of like what my parents pushed me towards. And as I got there, I wasn't really fond of all of that science and everything else. I did good in the classes, but it just wasn't for me. And so I became a economics business major, and that appealed to me more. But as I graduated, and the companies that I was interviewing with, I didn't really like what I was seeing. And what I mean by that is those big companies like at the time Merrill Lynch, Drexel, etc. I could just feel all of that office politics and everything else. And I'd been working for Durable Slate as a laborer in the summers. And I thought it was really cool because you're outside, you're doing really nice restoration work and etc. So even though it was so small at the time, it was very appealing to me. So after I graduated, I remember telling my friends, I was, yeah, I'm going to do the roofing thing. They were like, no, which job are you going to take? Are you going to do like Bank of America or Citibank or a Merrill Lynch, or where are you going to go? And I said, yeah, I'm going back to do the roofing. And I got the strangest looks, but it appealed to me.
Wow, that's cool, and that's cool to know what you want or really what you don't want. I guess at that age, and it's funny. I have a similar story. I have a finance degree from the business school at Boston College, and I graduated, and very similar thing. Friends are getting jobs in either New York City or Boston, finance jobs, investment banking jobs, and all that sort of thing. And I never applied to any of that stuff. Like it never really appealed to me. I don't think I knew I don't think I realized at the time, but I grew up in my family's construction business, small business. So I guess that was always kind of like what I was drawn to, and not the the big corporate world. So I graduated with a finance degree, and I went to work for my family's construction business in a shipyard, which is a pretty low level manual labor, blue collar type of job, and something that I guess I didn't really care what anyone thought. I definitely was comparing myself to others who were, making more money and more successful on, on paper and fancy apartments in the city and things like that. But that really never appealed to me. And I think that's really important to know what you don't want.
Yeah, a person really should figure out what they like to do and then just do that thing. And it doesn't matter really what it is, but you've got to find something in life that you love to do, and you just do it.
What was it about roofing that you loved? You mentioned like the nice projects you guys were working on, or like what drew you back?
There were several things that I saw. The first thing is the longevity of the roofs that we were working on. The idea, especially back then, because all we did was slate roofing. Now we do, copper and tile and all that. But, I saw the roofs that we were restoring. I saw the roofs that we were working on. And it kind of popped into my head. It's like, wow, you could really make something of this company and do the most beautiful roofs really in the world. And I remember seeing some of these castles in Europe and going, wow, it'd be great to work on one of these castles. And although we haven't worked on any castles, we have worked abroad. We've done, the House of Parliament in Trinidad. We've worked in Peru. We've worked all over the U.S. on some of the most iconic buildings and historic buildings in all of America. So it's gotten really, really interesting.